Hey, what's going on, people? Just wanted to do a quick review on the new Madone. This is the SL. It's not the SLR. This one just came out pretty recently. More affordable price point. The SL7 with Ultegra Di2, $6,500 US. The SLR is just a hair over 9,000. Biggest differences are the saddle. All right, so this is the Aeolus comp. It's got steel rails on it and the non-integrated cockpit. Now, that being said, this bar setup is pretty nice. It's the same dimension, so it's, this is size 56. So these bars are 39 centimeters at the hoods, 42 at the drops. Get you in a nice aero position. Same wheels. These are the Aeolus Pro 51s, not the RSLs. And just keep in mind, I did switch the tires out. This came from Trek with 25C Bontrager R3 tires on them. Those actually measured out about 28, 29. These are the 28 millimeter Continentals, GP 5000 STRs. They actually measure about 30. These rims are 23 internal and 31 external. So they do a really good job of kind of smoothing the ride out. The bike does ride very, very well, considering how big the tubes are. I expected kind of a rougher ride, but feels pretty good. Frame of reference. This is my other bike. You guys might have seen it on the channel before. It's an Amonda SL6. So this came with Ultegra, but it's the same, same 500 series carbon. This is a little bit older. It's a 2016. But this bike with the rim brakes, I can't run as big of a tire on it, so I end up running higher pressures in the 25 millimeter tires. This one I ran about 95 in the back, 90 in the front. I weigh about 180, 85 pounds. This one, I end up running about 75 in the back, 70 in the front. So I think that helps smooth the ride quite a bit. I only did about 5 miles on the bike with the stock tires, and I don't really have much to say about them, but this bike does take a much bigger tire. So my kind of feedback is going to be based on the bigger tires. Stiffness wise, bike is very stiff. Definitely, feels like every pedal stroke kind of moves the bike a little more efficiently. Now, that being said, it's heavier than the Amonda, so it doesn't have the same kind of urgent feel when you jump out of the saddle, especially up a climb. It just doesn't feel like it wants to rip up the hill quite so much. But again, I also weigh 185 pounds. I'm not a climber, so that doesn't really matter to me. Most of my rides are done on rolling terrain, solo group rides, stuff like that. So this kind of bike, definitely suits that better. Weight-wise, it's about 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds heavier than the Amonda. Again, not a huge deal unless you're climbing, exclusively, or you're, very competitive or very lightweight. Not the end of the world. But overall, the bike is, exceeding expectations, I would say. I looked at the SLR, price-wise, just kind of put me off. I didn't want to spend $9,000 on a bike. I happened to stumble on a video from GC Performance on YouTube. I had no idea this bike even came out. I had kind of given up on looking at bikes because everything I was looking at was a little bit expensive. But overall, very pleased with the purchase. I am going to do a couple upgrades on this. Down the road, I'm going to change the saddle out for a lighter one, change the bars out. I think I'm getting a SLR bar from a buddy of mine, but I'll do a longer term update. Like I said, I've only got 50 miles on this. This bike, Strava says it's got 35,000 miles. A lot of that is indoor, so I'd say outdoors, maybe half of that, 17, 20,000. So I do have a good point of reference for, how bikes ride, I guess, or at least something to compare it to. But I'll just do a couple close-up shots of the paint. It is a nice color. I really like the bike, especially for the price. 6,500 US is not cheap, but compared to 9 grand, it seems like a bargain. And the frame set, frame and fork, it's like 208 grams heavier than the SLR. So not the end of the world. The paint's really nice. It's like a pearl gray. It's got matte black here, matte black on top. But yeah, very happy with it. A lot of tire clearance. I can actually run 32s in here. These are 30s. There's plenty of room. Plenty of room at the fork. Should be plenty of room back here as well. Try to get a shot of it. I can't really get my phone in there, but yeah, plenty of space. Yeah, super happy with the bike. It's great design too. I really don't know if the ISOFlow thing, I don't really buy the aero claims just because the hole is pretty small. I got average size hands and, you know, it's not that big of a hole. Maybe it adds some comfort because like the seat kind of hangs out here, so maybe it has a little bit of flex to it, but I think it looks great, rides great, and it's very fast. I know a lot of that speed is not due to the frame, it's due to the bars and, you know, my position on the bike as a result, but super stoked with it. Definitely going to do more videos with this, but if anyone's looking at this bike, definitely a great buy, I would say, for the price. So definitely check it out. Plus with the 30-day guarantee, you know, that's kind of the reason I bought it. I figured if I absolutely hate the bike, I can also just take it back. But very happy with it. Still going to keep the Amanda, I think, for climbing days, or, you know, we'll see. We'll see comfort wise. I'll end up riding them back to back. And the Amanda's going to go on the trainer too. But yeah, can't wait to put more miles on it. Do a couple more little close-ups and we'll wrap this up. It does have this gap. All the Madones have this gap here at the headset. Don't know why. A little bit cheesy looking, but it's not terrible. I've seen some of the Tarmacs have this too. I think some of the Cannondales as well. I don't know what the reason is, but it's there. We'll deal with it. Any questions, guys? Feel free to leave a comment. I'll try to get back to you, and definitely give one a test ride. They're pretty available right now. My local Trek store's got one. The website's got inventory, so beautiful bike.